What is going on, Sports Wars? We're here. We're live for Sunday Sports Wars. Yeah, a couple minutes late. We're basically talking shit because Will was trying to brag about how many games he won last week because Jose was wrong in the chat. So we had to settle that before the stream started because we got to make sure we count all of these fucking games, okay, for bragging rights at the end. Beardo, how's it going, man?
It's going good. It's going good. Nothing too exciting. Giants are going to lose to the Lions today, so I'm ready. I'm prepared. But I'm excited for my prize picks props. About it. That's what I'm rooting for today.
Can I tell you how much Cam Scataboo is starting to get on my nerves?
Because of all of his Twitch streams and going to the WWE and stuff. And I mean, I get it. He's rubbing some people the wrong way. He's rubbing Giants fans the wrong way, too. It was the WWE stunt when he's got one leg and he's pushing and shoving Dominic Mysterio and everything, and it's like, should you really be doing that on one leg? It's like, come on here.
It's just weird because look, the whole Scataboo thing was cool, right? And you had a couple good games, scored some touchdowns and shit like that. But now we're seeing so much of him. He's doing streaming IRL with different people. Mm-hmm. A lot of it.
Yeah, with Neon, he was doing the IRL stream with Neon and stuff.
And I'll be real. At this point, his personality is starting to feel very performative. And it's like, I've seen too much of this dude now.
I don't think it's performative. I think he's genuine. He's just a fucking psycho. He's just a weird dude. He's just weird. He reminds me of kind of like Brian Wilson from the Giants when they were winning World Series back in like 2010 and 2012. Like Scataboo, he's just a weird guy. But he was the most exciting part of this NFL season so far. Like in the early season, he was the most exciting story. And people gravitated towards him, and then he got injured. So it's like, I don't know. Now he's doing his Twitch streams and stuff. But I don't know. I don't think he's putting on a performance. I think it's genuine. But all these Twitch streamers are like the Neons and stuff. They're gravitating towards him for clout. And he's getting, hey, come to the WWE. Sit right here at the front. We're going to have you do a bit with Dominic Mysterio and everything. Like others, I guess, networks, they're feeding off of the hype of Scataboo.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, speaking of hype, Drake Maye, fool's gold, according to Cam Newton. Will, what's up, man? How are you doing? I can't believe your boy Drake Maye was getting disrespected like that.
I know. That kind of came out of nowhere. And it was a weird beef. I was more shocked, and I know we'll get into it, with Stephen A's response, acting like Drake Maye needs to know. He knows that Cam Newton's on First Take, and it's like no one watches ESPN, especially like his generation. I don't think they didn't grow up like we did watching ESPN all the time. You see Cam on all these different podcasts. I would be confused. I didn't know he was officially on First Take every day. I never watch it. That's why. But
yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable for like a 23 or 24-year-old quarterback who's working during the time where that is airing to maybe not know exactly who's on what network, and between Cam Newton's YouTube stuff he's got going on, between other, like, yeah, I think it's perfectly unreasonable. Now, with that being said,
too,
what's that?
Was Ryan Clark in on that too? That whole thing with Stephen
I think Ryan Clark actually defended Drake Maye.
Okay.
When it came to that stuff, but we will get into that. Let's read some super chats. That's the first thing that we'll get into today. Over on Rumble, Jose Contreras with the updated numbers. Correction, Ryan, 11-4 last week. Beardo, 7-8. Will,
hell yeah,
12-3. 12-3.
Slowly but surely.
Overall, the records as we see it, I'm 108-46-1. Will is 102-52-1. And Beardo is 90-64-1.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
So yeah. Those are the records as they stand. We'll see. It is Will's closing that gap a little bit here. 6 games back. So what was I gonna fucking say? Big games coming up down the stretch now.
Crunch time.
B Jane for $10. What a dumb game between UConn and FAU. 1,200 yards offense, nearly 100 points, and UConn survives on a missed last-second FAU field goal. LMAO. Wins a win. 9-3 Huskies. Jim Mora deserves Coach of the Year votes. 9-3 for old UConn, huh?
Look at that.
That's impressive.
My Trojans got their
impressive for
shit
UConn.
stomped yesterday.
What's that?
The Trojans got shit stomped yesterday. It was a close game early on, and then Oregon just, took it in the second half.
Yeah, Oregon dominated near the end of that game, and obviously
Yeah.
it's a big statement win for them too. And
I think USC's probably out of the playoff at this point with 3 losses.
certainly.
Like that. Yeah.
USC always throws a haymaker and then never follows it up. They'll start off scoring in the beginning, but then they just lose it. I don't know why.
You think Lincoln Riley survives, or you think he's out?
Yes, just because there's the candidates for coaching out there right now is not the best.
Zenny Biscuit for $5 is apparently the new Virginia Tech coach is supposed to be good. I have no idea. Might as well get ready for next season. Speaking of coaching candidates, James Franklin heads from Penn State to Virginia Tech. So
there you go.
Well, I think Penn State's going to be regretting the move. I really do. I think they're going to be regretting that move. After a handful of bad games here, I feel like James Franklin's done a pretty good job there. I think maybe Penn State's a little full of themselves.
Well, the fact that their quarterback got injured.
Yeah. Well, look, there was before he got injured, there was other problems with that team. People expected a lot out of him this year.
Yeah, but what do you do for your fan base and whatnot? You had to make a move. I mean, I agree. I think they're going to regret it, but I don't blame the university for moving on because all the fans were pissed.
Yeah. Alex Aroke for 2. Jags and Packers will win. Meta PC, RK Outpost, Beardo. Thanks, Alex. D's Webbles, Texans are turning around from 0-3 to 6-5 with the number 1 defense in the league, H-Town, baby. CJ Stroud not looking too happy in the locker room celebrations with Davis Mills leading this team to another victory. Bro, CJ Stroud, Big Bro, and Caleb Williams truly was like the turning point of his entire fucking career.
He cursed himself.
That one moment, he cursed himself in some way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'll ever be the same again. That Texans defense is nasty. I picked the Bills on Thursday. Will pick the Bills. Beardo says he didn't officially make a pick, but I think we're going to count him down as a Bills because
I would have picked.
He would have picked him.
Correct.
So, dude, Josh Allen with fucking 8 sacks. Some of them just terrible sacks, terrible decisions to try to run away from those guys. This Bills team, man. I know they're 7-4. I think it feels like they're 500.
I want to get your opinion on this because we talked about it this morning. Buffalo Bills, if this isn't the year, then when? You have a chance with Lamar out, Mahomes out, Burrow out. All those guys could miss the playoffs. If this is the perfect year to do it, and they didn't go in on the trade deadline. I thought they should have, and now they're stuck with just Josh Allen needing to be Superman. But he ran into Mills Mafia on Thursday and lost.
This is true, Wayne Skitten. Wednesday on Geeks and Gamers Daily, I did pick the Bills. I forgot about that. I did. So, Bills for sure. But no, I'm with Will and Ryan. I said it last season that the Bills window was closed. Remember that? I said the Bills window, they're done. They're done. After Stephon Diggs, they got rid of him. They traded him. Or did he sign with Houston as a free agent? I can't remember. Regardless, I think for real, the Bills window's closed for this season. They didn't buy Josh Allen any number 1 wide receivers at the trade deadline. And Sean McDermott seems to be a problem there. And Josh Allen is fighting for his life.
Yeah, like some of the plays that he tried to make were ridiculous, right? It felt like he was reverting a little bit to old Josh in some ways. When you look at some of his numbers and the advanced metrics in terms of his sack rate, in terms of shit like that, how much he's turning the ball over this year, he looks like a completely different player. That now that we're 11 games in or whatever to their season, I think it's tough to not say that.
Other than James Cook, he's not getting much help on offense.
I don't disagree, but I feel like he is going out there and attempting to play Superman too much. You know what I mean?
And that's where he's making mistakes.
Throwing off his back foot too much. All that, just little dumb mistakes. They need
Taking unnecessary hits.
Yeah, they need 9/11 Sean McDermott. That's what they need.
Bring it back. Bring it back, Sean McDermott. Let's see. B. Jane, also Yale, gay school beat Harvard, gayer school, to qualify for the FCS playoffs. So did my alma mater, CCSU. Good days for Connecticut college football.
All right.
There you go. What everyone's paying attention to right now, B. Chain. We need the updates, man. We need the updates. Chris Curran, let's fucking go. Sports Wars and Bucks. Thanks, Chris. Piss and Penguins for 5. Shout out to Will, bringing back the P stash.
Welcome. I said I would. Man, I'm a word.
Matt Stranger for $20. I'm in a good mood today because my Flyers whooped ass last night. I hope the Panthers keep pounding on Monday Night Football. Let's fucking go Panthers and Flyers. Hail Sports Wars fam.
Hail Matt Stranger.
And then Pissin' Penguins for 20. Hey, Jeremy, just want to say fuck you. And the Bears playing my Steelers today. Quick, Beardo, wear a Bears hat and jinx them for me.
I don't own one. Send one to me. 7.5.
Fuck you, Pissin' Penguins. But Jeremy's not even here. Bowman Spyro, finally, after 3 weeks of no Sunday Cowboy games, I can drink while watching. Hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving. Yeah, you too, Bowman.
Yeah.
Cole Hauser for 5. Hail Ryan, Beardo, and Will. Ryan, my girl wears the Cubs hats a Cubs hat everywhere we go. Baseball season's done, bro. Go Yankees. Also, those Bills made me cry. I'm glad your girl's repping the Cubs. Any season. More funny college football names. Caden Kittler.
Don't the Yankees have a Kittler too?
I think so. I think there's one in baseball. White Burrito. How about my Wildcats stomping that Baylor offense? Congratulations, White Burrito. A little bit of a lame. I thought this was a very lame week in college football. You had a lot of the big time guys playing nobodies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is just kind of one of those in the schedule breaks before we come down to the wire for the season. ACDC fan UK. Kalen DeBoer leaving Bama for Penn State. No,
I don't think so. I think Penn State, it's looking like Brian Dable's being lined up for Penn State. No,
maybe. I don't know who they're gonna fucking get. I don't think Lane Kiffin's fucking going anywhere. I don't think he's going to LSU. I think Lane Kiffin's staying right where he is in Ole Miss.
Dude, I got sentled last night. Lane Kiffin to LSU. They're like, Lane Kiffin to LSU, $90 million. He's leaving Ole Miss. And I was like, dude, I was telling Jay, and I was like, dude, Lane Kiffin just $90 million to LSU. He's leaving Ole Miss. And then this morning I told Will, and Will's like, that didn't happen. I was like, fuck, I must have got sentled.
Sideless. Let's fucking go Detroit Pistons. Motorcade is him. Dude, Kate Cunningham, like just staying up there, kind of just being quiet, doing fucking work in Detroit. Detroit is back, which is crazy, and it's good for basketball. Good for basketball. Piss and Penguins clarifies, meant to type Ryan, went retarded and typed Jeremy instead. Oh, there you go. Well, thank you for the efforts. And then Doug B with a $50 super chat. All he says is bear the fuck down. Bear down. We are going to be talking about that. We are going to be talking about that. And just so everybody knows, Aaron Rodgers is a no-go. It will be Mason Rudolph getting the start, despite me putting him in the thumbnail because it seemed like he was going to fucking play. They teased that he was going to play. Not happening. Not happening. And then KW for $10. Beardo, please take this $10 and never wear anything related to University of Tennessee. Sincerely, a Volunteers fan.
Okay. I'm going to buy a hat right after this show.
We got to talk about Stephen A. Stephen A. and Drake May. And it's true. They have not lost since you called him Drake Maybe. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. That is correct.
Well, the New England Patriots certainly have been on a roll this season. Mike Vrabel coming in, probably front runner for coach of the year right now with that team playing the way that they are. But obviously, one of the things when it comes to the Patriots is you do look at their schedule, you look at who they've beat. But Drake May's playing incredibly well, regardless of what the competition has been against. But some comments made by one Cam Newton got the attention of local Boston radio. They talked to Drake Maye about it, and Drake Maye responded, which caused a little bit of a kerfuffle, and Stephen A. Smith embarrassing himself like the retard he is once again. Drake Maye addresses Cam Newton's fool's gold comments. I don't even know what show he's on. So Cam Newton talked about the Patriots and said it's fool's gold, says they're like cubic zirconia, it looks like a diamond, but actually it's fake as fuck. And I think that those things, and I'm sure, Will, you can look at the team and look at some of the competition the way they've won it, even maybe be like, you know what, it's going to be interesting when they come up against a little better competition, what we see. However, Drake Maye got asked about this. And Drake Maye says, I don't even know what show he's on. I think they get paid to make remarks and make certain comments. I'm just worried about what people in our organization think and worry about what we think and what my teammates think. People are going to have different opinions. I'm just going out there on Sunday and worrying about ourselves. Pretty good response, I think, from Drake Maye. Apparently, Cam Newton and especially Stephen A. Smith did not appreciate that, because the next day on First Take, Cam Newton gave this big fucking monologue about who he is and how I've been there before and I see you and you better not disrespect me. All this fucking bullshit. Cam Newton shit.
Living in the past, man.
Living in the past. Probably just upset that he's not still on the Patriots.
Right.
But then Stephen A. Smith had to say something.
Say about this kid, he can run it, he's tough, he's poised, and he's absolutely dynamic in the pass game. And this team under Mike Vrabel can win the AFC Championship.
He's also a liar. He's also a liar. First of all, let me tell you, it's not to brag, listen. Pardon the Interruption is the #1 show on ESPN spanning 20 plus decades. First Take is the #1 morning show. 13 years and counting. April will be 14 years. Don't tell me you an athlete and you don't know that. Don't tell me you an athlete and you don't know that Cam Newton ain't on the show. You lying. That's #1.
These fucking retards in the crowd. So Stephen A. Smith is mad that Drake Maye doesn't know what show Cam Newton's on. So he calls him a fucking liar.
Well, first of all,
yeah, go ahead.
How long has Cam Newton even been on First Take? I didn't know he was on First Take. I just knew Cam Newton had a podcast. The last I knew that First Take was Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, well, things didn't work out so well there for old Shannon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why they started bringing this rotating guest list. And I don't think he's been on long, maybe a couple months or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I do agree. If somebody had said Stephen A. Smith said these things, and you said, I don't even know what show he's on, I would find that hard to believe, right? That you don't know what show Stephen A. Smith is on. Everybody knows what show Stephen A. Smith is on. Nobody knows who your fucking random guests are on each fucking day, all this stuff you have going on. And Stephen A. Smith gets that triggered by it because it's a sign of disrespect to his brand, the brand that he built, the number one show on ESPN for 13 years. Whatever the fuck, it's been losing viewers for years and years and years. It's fucking irrelevant. I mean, you'd think that 24-year-old Drake Maye, that he DVR First Take every fucking morning when he's working and then come back home and listen to these incredibly nuanced takes from Stephen A. Smith? I somehow doubt it. What about you, Will?
Yeah, I think he's got more important things to do. I mean, if he was watching First Take every morning, I don't think they'd be on an 8-game win streak, I thought I didn't know Cam was on First Take. I know he had been on there as a guest, but I didn't know it was official. But I guess it's a good thing that this is all Stephen A. can attack him for, is like calling him a liar. Can't attack him for anything else, because if he would have went to that first. But I think this is just ridiculous and silly. They're just trying to get clicks, like you said. Their viewership is dying. They're trying to get clicks by bringing in topic around Drake Maye and the hot Patriots right now. They need some sort of controversy, and so they're going to attach onto this. I mean, does anyone not like Drake Maye? I'm not saying you have to love the Patriots or anything like that, but Drake Maye hasn't been like an asshole yet, or like
I respect him.
He's just gone out there and balled out.
It's actually kind of like one of the criticisms people have of him. He's like too boring, right?
He's too squeaky clean.
Yeah. And I don't think that should really be a criticism. I think it's perfectly fine to like have somebody who's not controversial, especially when you're playing as well as he is. But But yeah, I don't think there are too many people out there like, fuck Drake May. You just don't really see that.
Yeah.
And of course, Stephen A. Smith, like he does for so many things, in a shocking turn of events, this time Stephen A. Smith apologized for something he said retarded on ESPN instead of Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark was actually the one defending Drake May throughout this entire thing. But Stephen A. Smith claims he was being facetious about calling Drake May a liar. I wasn't calling him a liar about anything else, just that he didn't know where Cam works. And I think I have the full quote. He's also a liar, Smith said. But here's the response. I was being facetious because it wasn't that big of a deal. In other words, Cam Newton's on national television. And your reaction was, I don't even know where he works. I just didn't believe that. That's all. I wasn't calling him a liar about anything else, just that he didn't know where Cam works. But you're right. I don't know Drake May. I've never spoken to him. Again, I was being facetious. I wasn't being serious about that point. So if people take it that way, sure, I can apologize for that. It's no big deal. But I wasn't being serious.
I think this is so funny because I wanted to talk about this, like Stephen A. calling Drake May a liar. Like, if Drake May would have said, oh, I think Stephen A. Smith is a liar, Stephen A. Smith would have broke down. He would have spent 3 hours on his personal podcast bitching about Drake May, about how he's terrible for the NFL and shit like that. But Stephen A. Smith goes on live television, calls Drake May a liar, and then he's just like, oh, man, I was just joking. I was just joking. But, dude, he takes everything so fucking serious when it comes to him. But then he goes and says whatever he wants. He goes, oh, man, you guys took me seriously on that? It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, black man being disrespected, that triggers the fuck out of him, right? Like, it's tale as old as time. But the funny thing is, especially when you look at the way you speaking of that made me think of all the things that we know Stephen A. Smith has lied about, just straight up lied about in the past, including like his collegiate basketball history and like all these different things. He got called up by Jason Whitlock for it. And Stephen A. Smith goes on like a 1 month fucking crusade about fat Jason Whitlock, right? Like that was his entire podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just so stupid, man. But I'm glad
Stephen A. Smith, shit, but he can't take it.
Yeah, I'm glad Stephen A. Smith got his ass called out for that for sure.
Yep.
I think the craziest thing from that take, though, too, is what Cam Newton originally said, calling the Patriots fool's gold. Now, listen, again, I'm not saying we've had the toughest schedule in the world, but if you actually go back and look at it, the Patriots offense through this 8-game win streak has put up at least 23 points in every single game. And if you look at, just because a team is bad doesn't mean they have a bad defense necessarily. And we've actually beaten some pretty not bottom of the barrel defenses. And we also beat Buffalo in Buffalo. So it's like,
You got 2 really good wins on the road, Bills and Tampa.
Yeah, and then, I mean, the Falcons statistically have a really good secondary. We beat them at home. Granted, they did come back in that one. We beat the Browns defense. I mean, now those teams have terrible offenses and whatnot, but I mean, you can only play who's in front of you. And it's not like, I'm not saying the Patriots have had like a gauntlet of a schedule like the Rams have or anything like that, but call them fool's gold. It kind of just sounds like Cam Newton's being a little whiny bitch because he failed with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you could have arguments about it, right? I think that's like a topic. I think there's plenty of people that will go out and say, oh, they haven't beat enough people for me to really consider them like the number one contender from the AFC. I get that. I think those are arguments that could be had. But the triggering wasn't even because of that. The triggering was because he said he didn't know what show Cam Newton was on. That's it. Not like, I don't even know who that is. He didn't say something like that. He was like, I don't know what show he's on. I think they get paid to make comments and shit. That was it. I thought it was a good response from Drake May.
Yeah, I'm more impressed with Drake May every single week.
Jim Maloney. How about the UAB player who stabbed teammates?
Shit.
You guys see that stuff?
No.
I saw a headline. I didn't look into it.
Yeah. So this was a crazy story from, a little bit before Saturday's game for UAB. But somebody went a little crazy. UAB football player in custody after allegedly stabbing teammates before game. I think 2 teammates got stabbed. Football player at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, is reportedly in custody after stabbing 2 of his teammates during an incident on Saturday morning. Spokesperson for the university explained the incident occurred at the Football Operations Center. The football player responsible for the stabbing was reported to be in custody. In a statement, the university confirmed 2 individuals were injured in the incident. We're grateful to report the 2 players injured in the accident this morning are in stable condition. Our thoughts are with them and their families as they recover. The suspect, another player, remains in custody. And this is him, upstanding young man, a future scientist, probably. Suspect who stabbed 2 teammates at UAB, identified as UAB football player Daniel Mincy. And there's very few things like I haven't really seen anything come out about like what stemmed this. My guess it was some sort of disrespect. That's my guess. Some sort of disrespect, and someone took it personally. And so this is right before they played. They went ahead and played the game anyway. I think they got their asses beat by Florida or Southern Florida, University of South Florida. 48-18. But charged with this aggravated assault and attempted murder. It's
they thought they got rid of all their problems by firing Trent Dilfer.
God, yeah. But that's fucking scary, man. This dude could have fucking killed 2 of your teammates before the game. So we'll see what comes more out of this. It's a crazy story, obviously. Luckily, those guys are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Hauser for 5. If Drake Maye was black, Stephen A would have said, "It's all right, cuz you didn't know." Fuck Stephen A.
They probably wouldn't even talked about it.
Simply that guy for 5. I'm 25, only a few months older than Drake Maye. It's bizarre to me. These people don't realize no one in Gen Z watches cable TV. Yeah, and you might see some clips or something on social media, but you might not know that this person is on that show.
That's the only reason why I know Stephen A responded to it and called him out on that, was because that's the only time I see First Take is clips on X, usually when they're saying something stupid.
Yeah, it's fucking retarded. I did want to talk about this briefly as well, just kind of mention it. Pablo Torre, who no longer works at ESPN and like does his own thing now, and has done some stuff on Bill Belichick and whatever. He needed some new juicy thing to really get attention for himself. And that target was Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines, former swimmer for University of Kentucky, who obviously spoke out about transgender freak Leah Thomas and the entire NCAA thing that went there, and really was a catalyst for so much of the change and outrage and the things that we have seen over the past couple of years with all these different institutions saying, you know what, maybe it's not the best thing if we let men compete with women. Maybe that's fucked up. Maybe we should change all that shit. Pablo Torre decided that she was the next one to be investigated. And it did not really go all that well for him. It kind of backfired in a big way. Because guess what? Of all the people that had to be in a locker room with Leah Thomas, Will Thomas, a man with dick hanging out in the female locker room, they found 2 anonymous swimmers who were willing to say that they weren't offended by it. So they weren't offended or scared with a man in the locker room. So fuck everybody else that's come out and said anything, right? Who cares about Riley Gaines or Paula Scanlon or any of these other people, right? We found 2 anonymous people that say we weren't bothered by it. Oh, and by the way, you know what the other big thing from Pablo Torre was that came out? That Riley Gaines gets paid to make some speaking appearances. Shocking. I know.
Shocker.
Shocking. And it was just, it felt weird. For something that was so well researched, they conveniently forgot that although they tried to play some kind of big gotcha when it came to Riley Gaines, former coach, being accused of rape and sexual assault, and saying she never said anything about this, but she's so focused on Leah Thomas, when in fact she did. She disowned it. She talked about it. She talked about how it's disgusting and, that's not okay. And everybody feels shocked and horrified that a former coach of her would have these allegations levied against him. It was a big swing and a miss. And it's so strange that Pablo Torre thought that even though 10 years ago, this is him, if you're defending a man's right to expose himself to a female employee against her will at work, I humbly beg you never procreate. But now this is the moment that he wanted to take to go after Riley Gaines. It just seems weird. Maybe the Bill Belichick shit dried up for a while. He had to do something like this.
Yeesh.
I love Clay Travis's take. Wait till 2016 Pablo finds out about 2025 Pablo.
Yeah. And I mean, shit, he may very well go back to the Bill Belichick stuff because apparently, do you guys see the report that Jordan Hudson and
Yes.
Bill Belichick's daughter got into a shouting match or something?
Well,
Daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law, yeah, Steve Belichick's wife. I saw that Steve Belichick's wife was talking a lot of shit on Jordan Hudson. And when you mentioned Pablo Torre, I was like, I seen something about Pablo Torre, but it wasn't this. It had to do with Belichick and Jordan Hudson. But yeah, that happened.
Yeah, and it seems so crazy for a 50-minute investigative piece about the real Riley Gaines. And they're like, it seemed like 3 years before this happened, she wasn't as anti-trans as she is now. It's like, shockingly, being forced to share a locker room with a fucking dude, being forced to share a podium with a dude, right?
Yeah.
A dude who's a average fucking swimmer, snaps his fingers and pretends to be a woman, all of a sudden starts taking home trophies. It's almost like that could maybe change someone who's like 19 or 20 years old.
Well, not only that, didn't she get jumped too?
Well, I mean, that was when she was already obviously speaking. I think it was a TPUSA event, potentially.
Right. She got jumped, and it's like, you get jumped for having an opinion. That might radicalize you even more.
Yeah, it was at SFSU, right, is when, and she was there to speak. She was there to already talk about this stuff, and that's when, like, they basically barricaded her into a fucking room, and it was crazy and wild and all that shit. So... It's just weird. It seems like a weird swing for Pablo Torre to take, because the truth is, you can try to spin it any way you want. Trying to be like, well, isn't this coach that she had? Shouldn't that be the biggest crusade? And it's like, okay, she spoke out about that, but men in women's sports is a big fucking deal, and it's incredibly unpopular. So it's weird that Pablo Torre would decide in 2025, not in 2021. But in 2025, to like make a big stance about this, it just seems fucking retarded. But I guess,
yeah, he's a little late to the party.
I guess that's who Pablo Torre is.
Well, yeah, Pablo Torre was always even an idiot on Around the Horn.
Oh yeah,
he was an idiot back then.
Bro, Around the Horn used to be so good.
It was my favorite show. I'd come home from college and I knew that Around the Horn was on. My favorite fucking show, man.
Bill Plaschke, Woody Page.
Bill Plaschke, yep.
Remember Jay Mariucci?
Yeah, who's the guy from Dallas? I like the guy from Dallas as well.
Is it Mariucci? Hold on, that's not the name. Who is the guy?
Right.
Is that right? Or is it Jay Mariucci?
Mariucci? Yeah.
I think
there
so.
Was a guy from Dallas. I liked him too.
Tim Cowlishaw.
I liked him.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite shows.
It just shows these guys live in a bubble. I mean, to think that that's a great story to run on right now.
Jay Mariotti. Jay
Mariotti. That was close enough.
Yeah.
There it is. But guys, with that being said, let's get in these fucking games, man.
Let's do it.
Let's get in these fucking games. And we might as well talk about the we talked a little bit about the Buffalo Bills anyway, but we'll briefly mention it. Let me pop this shit up. That was the Thursday game, and the fucking Houston Texans. Well, I don't want that. NBA. We don't need NBA. Let's go NFL. That's what we're talking about right now. But the Bills and the Texans, man, the fucking Houston Texans are 6-5 after starting off 0-3 and looking like dog shit. CJ Stroud getting hurt. They are suddenly right back in playoff contention at 6-5, being led by Davis fucking Mills. Davis Mills. I know it's at home. I know Houston's defense is tough. The Bills, for so much of this game, looked just so unable to do anything. In that entire second half, they were unable to move the ball, period, sustain any drives. The rush was just constantly getting to Josh Allen, and they couldn't make any adjustments. I don't know. I think the Bills can still maybe turn it on, but fuck, dude, in a wide open AFC, you said it, Will. Like, if not this year, when?
Yeah.
Yep.
But shout out to the ref at the end of that game. He got the other ref got injured, had to be taken out of the game. So this
he did a great job.
Moment. Like, did you see that last call, the last pass interference call? Like, both teams thought it was on each other, and dude, he just paused like perfectly.
Great. So to set it up, the lead ref got injured, and it looked like he tore his Achilles. Apparently he didn't, but I thought he did when I saw what happened.
Yeah.
So they had to remove a ref. The other guy had to sub in, did a pretty good job vocalizing and explaining everything, which he was not, expecting to do. And then you're right. Last play, fucking Josh Allen throws an interception and you think game's over. Then you see a flag in the field. Josh Allen's pointing. The other team's fucking pointing. The guy gets up there. Pass interference on the offense. And it's like, oh, shit. Penalty declined. It was a great call. Oh,
yeah, that place erupted. That was awesome. I thought, I'm like, oh God, here he goes, getting bailed out again.
Yeah, I thought it was going to happen too. But let's get into these games. The first one, Steelers, Bears. Look at this matchup predictor, dude. The matchup predictor, very, very close. And I think this is going to be a really close game. I think not having Aaron Rodgers is going to be a big factor for the Steelers. But to me, when I'm looking right now, if this is a healthy Bears team versus a healthy Steelers team, even with Aaron Rodgers, I might be leaning Bears. This Bears defense is fucking decimated. I think their top 3 corners are out. All of their starting linebackers are out. You already have one of your starting edge rushers out for the season. They have 6 of their starters are out on this defense. And I'm very, very worried about how they're going to stop the run, how they're going to stop the pass, how they're going to stop anybody. I had the Steelers picked in this game until Aaron Rodgers went out. I'm taking the Bears. I think Mason Rudolph's a fine backup. I'm taking the Bears. Without Aaron Rodgers, I think that they're going to be able to avoid the loss, but I am very scared for this game because this defense isn't going to stop anybody.
I said this morning on Game On, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback for the Steelers, whether it's Rodgers or Rudolph. I'm going Pittsburgh on the road.
This is going to be an interesting one. I'm excited to watch. We got a top 5 pass rush defense in the Steelers going up against the top 5 pass blocking offensive line in the Bears. I'm going with the Steelers in this one. I don't care who's quarterback either. I think with the pass rush of the Steelers, I think we're going to see a Caleb Williams game where he makes a couple dumb mistakes. Feels a little overdue for that too. So I think it's going to be one too many mistakes from Caleb Williams, and the Steelers are going to get an ugly win.
I think that the pass block statistics for this line is very misleading because I think so much of it is because Caleb's avoided so many fucking sacks. Many fucking sacks. And when you, again, some of the things that go into those analytics or whatever are often like time to throw. And because he's escaped and created so much time, the time to throw is really high. It's not like they're just giving him a bunch of time. It's because of the escapes. So much like we saw during the Giants game, right? Like where those pass rushers just on him all the fucking time. I think we're seeing that too. I definitely think we're going to see that. Pretty sure their left tackle's not going to be able to go as well. We'll see. I didn't get official word on whether he's out or not. So I don't feel great about this one, but I am sticking with the Bears. Patriots, Bengals with no Joe Burrow. I got the Pats on the road. I
have the Patriots on the road too. And Will brought up a good point this morning that Joe Burrow took a lot of first team reps this week at practice and is not getting the start. It's going to be Joe Flacco again. It seems like a weird spot where the Bengals could make this a close game, but it doesn't really matter to me, in my opinion. Patriots are going to win this game, but I would not be surprised if the Bengals cover that 7.5.
Yeah, I was leaning earlier in the week before any of the news happened. I was looking at the Bengals as a live dog here. You can't run on this Patriot defense, but you can throw on them. And when you have great wide receivers like the Bengals, it just kind of felt like a shootout and anything could happen. But then Chase gets suspended. And then we had the Burrow news come out. And if Burrow was playing, I probably would like the Bengals, honestly, and a fun shootout between these two. But then, like Beardo was saying, Burrow took 2 days of first team reps where Flacco was going with the second string both those days. I think that was just dumb. I know they're trying to get him geared up for Thursday against the Ravens, but you get for your season to matter, you got to win this week. And so next Thursday doesn't matter if you lose this week. But I'm going with the Patriots on the road here.
Look at this one. This is the game of the week right here, boys. Giants at Lions.
Mhm.
The Lions are only favored by 2 touchdowns. Beardo, what do you think about this game?
Well, it was 13.5 this morning. That's jumped up to 14 now. This, Ryan, this is actually the second best game of the week. We'll get to the best game of the week a little bit further down. No, I'm picking the Lions in this one. So Jackson Dart did not clear concussion protocol for the second straight week, which is good. I don't want Jackson Dart to play for the rest of the season. The season's done. The Giants are 2-9. There's no point. We're out Malik Neighbors on an ACL. We're out Scataboo on that ankle injury. We're out Jackson Dart on a concussion. There is no point. We have seen what we want to from Jackson Dart. He's a very talented kid with a very high ceiling. If he were to start this game, I think the Giants could have a chance to cover. But no, I'm picking the Lions, man. This is going to be a big ground game for the Lions today. I don't expect Jared Goff to have to do a whole lot of passing here. I think this is going to be the 1-2 punch from Sonic and Knuckles here. And if you guys are gambling, Jahmyr Gibbs over on his rushing yards, he might hit his rushing yards in the first quarter. This is going to be bad, especially at home in Detroit in that controlled environment. Lions are going to do just fine. I'm picking the Lions.
In their last 12 games off a loss, the Lions have covered 12-0 to the spread. So I like the Lions. Sorry, Ryan, I forgot you didn't go yet.
No, you're good. You're good. I got the Lions as well. A pretty easy one. But yeah, it should be an easy game for the Lions. We expect. Are they going to cover? Will?
Yeah, I think so. But I do like the Giants. I don't think it's a blowout. I think the Giants get over 20 points today. I think Jameis throws for a bunch of yards. I think it's just going to be a fun track meet. I mean, we've seen the Lions at home on that turf, especially coming off a loss. They're going to get their points, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Lions get some touchdowns today, or if the Giants get some touchdowns and Jameis throws over 250 today. Why not? I mean, it's Jameis Winston. He's just out there for the hell of it, having fun, slinging it around. I hope Wan'Dale Robinson gets in the end zone.
JJ McCarthy. Did I say JJ McCarthy on accident? I didn't, did I? I said Jared Goff.
I don't recall you saying that, but I was also looking at this Vikings Packers thing too, so it could have. That's also on the screen.
I don't think I said JJ McCarthy, but anyways. Well,
speaking of JJ McCarthy, this is a big matchup. NFC North, Vikings, Packers at Lambeau. I am going to be taking the Packers at home, yes. And that, JJ McCarthy. It's easy to be super fucking critical of him, especially with the 9 nickname bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But
somebody called him out for it. I think it was Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee said, "Put that thing to rest."
Yeah, you have to. But I think it's important to remember this is only going to be his 6th or 7th start, something like that. So
right,
the dude really has so little time under his belt, despite being on the bench with everything last year with the injury. But that Vikings team is going to need to get a lot of things straight. You got Justin Jefferson out there looking like a mid receiver. Like those are the numbers he's putting up right now. And that is a waste, but I got the Packers in this game.
This is supposed to be a weather game in Green Bay. I have the Packers winning. I'm not sure if they're going to cover that 6.5. The Vikings might make it close. But I got the Packers, but also keep in mind, this is an Aaron Jones revenge game. So
that's true.
It is. I'm not sure how healthy he is, if he's going to be limited or not, but give me the Packers to win.
I think it's a good buy low point on JJ McCarthy and the Vikings. I think that number is ridiculous. I'm taking the Vikings to win this one. The Packers, offensively, they shouldn't be laying 6.5 to anyone at this point. I mean, no Kraft. Josh Jacobs was officially ruled out, so he's not going to be playing. Yeah, give me the Vikings.
That Brian Flores defense going to throw a pick.
Yeah, in a weather game. I mean, weird things are going to happen. I definitely think the Vikings are going to cover. I'm going to take them as a live dog here for the picks. But I just don't think the Packers should be this big of a favorite in this one.
I agree. I think it should be closer to like 4. I think 4 is something that makes a little more sense here. And the Packers, you never know what you're going to fucking get.
Right.
But I do think they take it at home. Seahawks Titans. Seahawks going on the road. A 12.5-point favorite right now. Obviously, after a letdown game with a lot of picks from Sam Darnold. I think 4 interceptions that last game. I think that's what it was for Sam Darnold. Kind of reverted a little bit to Sam Darnold of old, but I do think the Seahawks get right in this game. Playing the Titans, an easy way to get right for almost everyone. So I got the Seahawks.
I'm on the Seahawks too. Yeah.
If the Seahawks lose this game, you can tune into my show tomorrow for the most epic rant you'll ever see, because I'm taking them in my survivor pool. And it would be just a Seattle thing. I'm cursed with Seattle teams, but they can't lose this game. They can't. Give me the Seahawks.
Colts Chiefs. This is Kansas City's playing for their lives right now. 5-5 out of the playoffs. Still some tough games ahead. The Colts come into town, and this Colts team, specifically Daniel Jones, has looked a little bit different the past couple weeks than he did the first part of this year. I'm taking the Colts on the road, and I do not feel good about it. Because it's like when I'm finally ready to be like, you know what, the season's done for Kansas City, I feel like that's right about when they're going to fucking turn it back on. But in the game, got to go Colts.
I'm going Colts as well. And this is going to be a prove-it game for Daniel Jones because the Chiefs are going to stack the box all game and try to eliminate Jonathan Taylor from that offense for the Colts. So Daniel Jones, I'm actually playing him today on Prize Picks. More than 2 rushing touchdowns. This is going to be a big game for Daniel Jones. So, but I think that the Colts are going to be able to do it, and I'm picking the Colts.
I've been going back and forth on this all week. I'm with you guys. I don't believe in the hype of the Chiefs. Like, this is a must-win game. They got to win this one, so they're going to win. They don't lose at home. I'm not buying into all of that. Patrick Mahomes has never lost 3 in a row, by the way. If he loses today, that'd be 3 in a row. I flip-flopped, but I'm
5 10 games into the season either.
Yeah, neither was Tom Brady, by the way. Chiefs, I'm going to go with Chiefs at home. That's ultimately where I'm settling. I think in Kansas City, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, like you said, this might be the time where they get a big win here. They got Dallas on Thursday, which I expect them to handle Dallas, and then all of a sudden they're 7-5, and they've got hope to make the playoffs. I also I'm rooting for them to miss the playoffs, so I'm kind of hedging here a little bit, but I'll take the Chiefs.
Do you think the spread is right? Do you think it opened right? Because I think it opened at like 4. It was either open at 3.5 or 4, right? Like that wasn't bettors that did that. Kansas City opened
or 4.
Like Kansas City opened as a over field goal favorite.
Right. Yeah, it was 3.5. It got bet down to 3 and then went right back up to 3.5. I think it is right because given the situation, you were getting a lot of money on both sides with like sharp big bettors taking the points with the Colts, but when it got down to 3, they liked the Chiefs. It feels right to me. If you put it at 2.5 or something like that I think everyone and their mother would be betting the Chiefs in that one.
Jets Ravens. Now this is a Jets team after the miraculous career revival of Justin Fields, which lasted all of 1 fucking game. He officially got benched for Tyrod Taylor. So it will be Tyrod, however you want to say his fucking name, Taylor, against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. The Ravens are getting a lot of fucking points here for a team that did not look very good last week. But I'm taking the Ravens in the game, obviously. But this should be a game for them where they do try to fucking cover that spread, where they do just try to put a fucking beat down because they need a game like that.
You'd hope so, but ever since the Jets traded away their entire defense, they've been winning games. So give me the Ravens, but I think the Jets keep it close and cover that 13.5.
It's pronounced Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod. Oh, and also, yes, that's true. Tyrod Taylor revenge game, Ryan.
Yeah, revenge game.
Because Tyrod Taylor's played for about fucking 10 teams, so
it's always a revenge game for Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I don't think until they prove it to me, I don't think the Ravens can get margin on anyone. This isn't the Ravens of the past few years, even against the god awful Jets. I'm taking the Ravens in this one, but I do think the Jets cover. Lamar hasn't been running much this year, especially after his injury. So maybe look at Derrick Henry to carry the load today, but I think the Ravens get a lead and sit on it.
Is this the game that's the game of the week, Beardo?
This is game of the week right here.
I hate this so much, dude. I hate the Shadur Sanders first start with all this stupid bullshit and all these retarded fans that are cheering and asking for him. Goes 4 of 16 in his debut. Looks like dog shit.
With 2 picks.
He gets to play only one. I think he only had 1 pick.
I think he had 2 picks last week, did he not?
I think he only had one, but he should have had
He
another.
He had 2 sacks.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And he gets to play the fucking god awful Raiders.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Can't pick for Shadur. Can't do it. Won't do it. Ain't gonna do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. I'm going with the Raiders at home.
Yeah.
But fuck, man. I could just see the writing on the wall. Shadur goes into Vegas and wins. Flashes his fucking watch, bro. Taking the Raiders.
I'm on the Raiders.
That is a petty fucking pick for me. I usually don't do those. That's a petty fucking pick.
It's not a petty pick for me. I'm picking the Raiders at home. And Tyler Lockett is going to get his first touchdown with the Raiders today as well. That might be the only touchdown scored in the game.
The NFL did everything it could to try to get everyone to only watch the Eagles-Cowboys game in the second slate games. And then the Browns come out and say, we're going to start Shadur. So that's the only other game people are going to tune into just to see how Shadur is doing. Since the Browns came back to Cleveland, no starting quarterback has ever won their first game, 0-17 for the Browns, which means what, Beardo?
They're due.
They're due. Give me Shadur and the Browns today. I want it to happen so bad because I want them to glaze Shadur all week so we can fade the Browns next week. Plus, I've been picking the Browns every week. I got to keep picking the Browns until they finally win me one.
Browns at home and Browns away is a little different story.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Best bet, guaranteed, someone scoring a defensive touchdown in this game. You got Geno throwing a pick 6 or you got Shadur throwing a pick 6. It's going to happen.
They're both throwing picks, multiple.
Or a strip sack returned. That could happen to Shadur 100% too.
Mm-hmm.
Jags, Cardinals.
Very interesting game.
It is. Looking at that spread, Jacksonville, a 1.5 point favorite at Arizona. I am finally in on the Jags-ish for now. So I will take them in this game. It's interesting that that's all the spread is, especially after the Cardinals. I mean, I know Jacoby Brissett threw for like 5,000 yards, like in the losing effort. Was that last week that happened?
47 completions last week.
Yeah,
like it was last week he had 47 completions.
It's because they were just getting the absolute shit stomped out of them. So I'm taking Jags. I feel okay about it.
I'm on Jacksonville too.
It goes against everything that I normally pick. You got a Jacksonville team that won at home last week, beating a team that they were underdogs to. The Cardinals have looked like trash the last 2 weeks, but I'm going with the Jags on the road here, as gross as it is.
Eagles, Cowboys, which obviously is a big game, and this Cowboys team, maybe they can go on a run. It's at Dallas. And you know what? They're probably going to be more fun to watch than the fucking Eagles. Eagles 8-2, and the team seems to be fucking imploding. Everyone's complaining about shit. All the teammates are fighting. You got Jason Kelsey on his podcast crying about how fucking
Lane
teammates
Johnson.
get upset with each other. I'm taking the Eagles, even though I hate them. I'm taking the Eagles because until they don't win, I got to keep picking them, man. But they're going to win it's going to be like a 13-9 game or something. I don't know. It's the only way they can win, probably.
I have some bold predictions for this game. Big field goal game for Brandon Aubrey. And also, Brandon Aubrey might break the field goal record today. That was just said a few weeks ago. I'm on the Cowboys. No Lane Johnson. I don't like the Eagles offense without Lane Johnson. It's going to be hard to do the tush push and get those 4th and 1s and those goal line tush pushes in. I like the Cowboys with a big game from Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah, I was thinking about taking the Cowboys earlier in the week, and everyone loves the Cowboys here. I think it's going to be the Eagles. What makes me nervous about the Eagles is no Lane Johnson. And if you look back over the years, they average like over 1 yard less per carry when he's not out there. I kind of want to see more, see how the Eagles team looks without him for these next 4 weeks or so. But I'm going to go with the Eagles in this one. I think we do. Oddly enough, I think we see a Jalen Hurts game. I think it's the one where he throws for 300 yards. He's done that a couple times this season when everyone's like this And a pick, yeah. But everyone says, oh, their offense is trash, blah, blah, blah. And then he randomly comes out. And what better defense to do it against than the Cowboys? So give me the Eagles.
The Matt Eberflus Dallas Cowboys defense. You don't have any faith in them? Yeah, I think that the Lane Johnson thing, for me, they have been struggled without him running the ball when he's not in over the years. However, they've kind of just fucking struggled running the ball this year.
Mhm.
Period.
Yeah, Saquon's got like 4 rushing touchdowns?
Yeah, and when you look at his yards per carry compared to last year, like they just have not had some of the same explosive runs. The run game has not felt the same. So I just don't know if it's going to matter as much. Like, truthfully, that's kind of like my opinion on it. Now, it's certainly not going to help them, but
You got to also remember the Cowboys. I heard their coach talking about it this week, Shoddy. He was like, they played on Monday night. They got to play today. They got to play on Thursday. Then they got to play the following Thursday. He was talking about how they're kind of like, whoa, we've got to really focus up here. It's kind of hard to, plan for all these games that are so bunched together. And if they're already worried about that, I mean, not saying that they would ever overlook the Eagles, but it could be just a bad spot for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Falcons Saints, the puke bowl of the day, other than fucking Raiders Browns. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Saints at home because the Falcons just can't seem to get right, man. I think the Saints team plays a little bit better at home. I guess everybody does, but specifically them. They stay in these games. They're competitive. Old Kirk Cousins taking the field for the Falcons, getting paid all that fucking money. I'm going with the Saints. I can't believe they're favored, to be honest with you, but I'm going with the Saints.
Unbelievable. I'm going with the Saints too. I am.
I'm starting to feel very uncomfortable because we were almost identical in picks this week.
I'm only going with the Saints because they're at home. If this were in Atlanta, I'd be flip-flopped. Kirk Cousins is throwing a pick today. Tyler Shuff might throw a pick today too. But you know who hasn't scored a touchdown all season long for the Saints, Ryan?
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. He's due. He's scoring a tud today.
Okay.
I can't believe the Falcons are underdogs here. The line has come down. It was 2.5, and then 2, and now this morning it's come down a little bit. I don't think Kirk Cousins is as bad as everyone is thinking he is. You got to remember he goes into a game last week or what was it, a couple weeks ago when he went in? Or was that last week
when Penix got injured?
Yeah, and you got a left-handed quarterback. Yeah, you got a left-handed quarterback and a right-handed quarterback trying to make that change in the middle of a game for offensive line. They got a full week of practice. If you just assume that Kirk Cousins and Tyler Shuck are equal quarterbacks, the Falcons have a better overall roster, and they have a pretty good secondary. I'm going to go with the better team here, and I'm going to take the Falcons on the road to get it done.
The problem is I've felt that way about the Falcons in a couple of these games. You know what I mean? And maybe with Kirk Cousins in there, more experience, steady hand, stuff like that as compared to Penix. Drake London's, is he playing?
Out.
No, he's out
too, right? So yeah.
And Alvin
Kamara
is questionable.
Also, I don't have to worry. I'm not saying either of these teams are actually really trying to tank, but if you factor that in, the Falcons, they benefit nothing from tanking because they don't own their first round pick.
The Rams own it. The Rams own their first round pick, bro. The Rams are looking to get like a fucking 7th overall pick or something because the Falcons suck. But yeah, I'm a shuckhead today, going with the Saints. Sunday night, good fucking game, good matchup.
Very fun game.
Buccaneers, Rams, and it's at LA. I can't pick against the Rams, man. I know they didn't look as clean as they didn't get a win that they should have last week. And like with all those fucking turnovers, they didn't convert as much as they should have. They weren't as efficient as they should be. I'm in on Matthew Stafford on his MVP season and the LA Rams over Baker and the Bucs.
I'm also on the Rams. I don't want to bet against Baker, but the Bucs are too banged up. I think this is going to be a really fun game. I think the Bucs can cover that 7 points, but give me the Rams at home.
That's a lot of points, and it's almost like the sports books now that it was 6.5 all week and they moved it to 7. It's like they want you to take the Bucs, and I would take the Bucs here if they were healthier. because I think if all their wide receivers and everything not banged up defensively as well, I think this would be a really good game. But I'm going to go with the Rams at home, even though it does feel like maybe a letdown spot for the Rams after a good win against the Seahawks last week. Granted, they probably should have lost that game had it not been for Darnold turning the ball over 4 times. But still, they got the win. And so I think they're going to beat Baker here on Sunday night.
And then the Monday night game, Panthers 49ers. After 49ers got Brock Purdy back, and all of a sudden they look so fucking good again. I know the Panthers are a nice little story, and we're getting some Bryce Young games and stuff. I got to go with the Niners at home with this team starting to get some people back.
I'm going with the Niners too. Damn it, man. We're almost identical except for that Bears game.
And you picked the Cowboys, right?
I did pick the Cowboys, yeah. But
yeah, I'm very fucking scared. Everyone's like, Will's going to win this week because Ryan and Beardo are picking the same people.
Well, I picked all my I picked all my teams this morning, so it's not like I'm copying you.
I know.
That's funny. God, I really want to take the Panthers here, but Bryce Young throwing 450 yards last week makes me nervous going into this week. I still need to see it more from the Niners. Everyone says, they're back. Look at last week and whatnot, and they're getting healthier. They should be getting better. I want to see a little bit more, but at home in this spot, their defense is so terrible still, though. 47 completions from Jacoby Brissett last week. I do think the Panthers can run on the Niners here. I wouldn't be shocked if they won, but I will pick the Niners to ultimately win this game.
There you go. People are saying in the Will report we trust.
That's right.
Little Orphan Funkhauser for 2. Pablo Torre is the textbook definition of a dork. American Man, let's take it to the trash pigeons. Go Cowboys. Thanks, American Man. Little Orphan Funkhauser for 2. Max Crosby's going to go full colonizer on Shadur.
Hopefully.
And then ACDC Fan UK says Max Crosby 4 sacks worth a bet. Myles Garrett had 4 sacks last week, right?
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm. Jose Contreras for $1 on Rumble says Sports Wars episode on Wednesday or Thursday for the Thanksgiving games. Probably not. But you know what? We'll make our picks for those games tomorrow night. During Monday evening quarterback. We'll make those picks. Cool. So we will be back tomorrow night for Monday evening quarterback, where we go over all these games, what we got right, what we got wrong. But that's it. That's all we got today. I'm not feeling very good, so we're going to cut this a little short than we normally do. But Beardo, what do you got going on, man?
Nothing much. Gonna watch football and make some food. That's it.
There you go. What about you, Will?
Same, watching football, and then they're going to be live tomorrow morning to recap everything, get ready for the Monday night game. They gave us a terrible Monday night game, but I think they did it on purpose. They did it for all the married men out there, because the wives are like, oh, we got Thanksgiving coming up Monday evening, need you to run out and go grab some things to get prepared. You don't want a good game when that's going on,
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Yeah.
So I heard somebody said that they're taking Zach Ertz anytime touchdown this week, Beardo.
Yeah, not a good idea because the Redskins are on a bye.
Yes.
So don't do that. If I will share, I know you're not feeling well, Ryan. Can I share at least one of my favorite Prize Picks power
go
plays?
For it. Let them know.
Actually, I'll share 2. So tonight, same game parlay, Sunday Night Football. It's a 5-legger. Puka Nacua, anytime touchdown. Baker Mayfield, more on his rushing yards, 19.5. Jared Verse getting a sack. Terrence Ferguson for the Rams, 24.5 more on his receiving yards. Tez Johnson, anytime touchdown. $10 will pay out $800 on Prize Picks. I also have a 6-leg interception parlay. Daniel Jones throwing a pick. Jameis Winston throwing a pick. Jordan Love throwing a pick. Geno Smith throwing a pick. Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield, 6 legs, $20 pays you $520. Those are my 2 favorite plays for today on Prize Picks.
There you go. There you go. That's a big payout if you guys hit on those lineups over on Prize Picks. And if you do, use code GGOver.
Yep.
Head over there to Prize Picks. But all right, that's it, guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.